Hello and welcome to the Best Today podcast. I am your host, Shantae Grant. And today I want to talk about how the Anytime Today Journal, how to make it a part of your wellness routine. If you don't know what the Anytime Today Journal is, one, keep listening, but two, make sure you go back and listen to episode 104. Let me make sure I'm right in saying that. We will link to it in the show notes. So wherever you're listening right now, you can listen there as well. There's an episode about it there. But the reason I wanted to talk about this on the podcast is over the last month, I've had more people share that they want to get back into journaling or start a journaling practice more than I've heard a lot. And I hear that often, right? It's actually why last year, at the beginning of 2021, we did a survey in our audience about journaling. And that's what made me choose this as one of our newer products. And so I know that a lot of you listening are maybe even aware of the benefits of it. But for many people, journaling can feel intimidating or stressful because you feel like you have to know what to write, or you have to write for a long time, or fill a whole page or more pages. So today I want to talk to you about how you can use the Anytime Today Journal as part of your wellness routine that is simple, filled with ease, no mandates on how much to write and how many days to write. And it's really going to allow you to derive the many benefits from journaling without an ounce of angst or overthinking. Like I can feel shoulders already starting to drop. First, I've said first a few times, so we'll just pretend like I haven't, okay? First, if you haven't listened to episode 105, I'm going to link to that in the show notes as well. That episode is 5 reasons to give journaling a try. I'll also link to a blog post that I've written that's pretty similar, but it had a little bit more, it had another reason, and it's 5 reasons to make journaling a part of your practice, something along those lines. I'll link to that in the show notes as well if you prefer to read rather than listen. But in short, doctors, scientists agree. Like people of all the fields agree unanimously that journaling has proven benefits to help you aid in your mental and emotional well-being, right? A large number of customers have told me that the reason they started journaling is because their therapist recommended it. I have a lot of friends who are therapists, and I can tell you that journaling is such an important part of your health. If you are drinking your water and exercising and you're doing these things for your physical body, but you're not doing things for your mind, for your emotions, friend, you need to take care of all of you, your full wellness, right? Journaling really can unlock this for you. And so what I love about the Anytime Today Journal is that it removes a lot of the barriers to entry and the barriers of consistent journaling because one, there is no pressure to write a certain amount of pages. There's no pressure to write a certain time of day or even to do it daily. And two, there are 4 powerful prompts that help you to get started. 3, you can write as little or as much as you want or need. And that's what I love so much. But you also can choose to write freely with no prompt. So that's why I love it as being your go-to journal because you can use it with or without the prompts. The 4 prompts are: today I am, today I feel, today I need, today I want. One customer called and told us that the Anytime Journal gave her the space to talk about herself, right? She said, I don't get that often in my day. No one is asking me, mommy, what do you need? Or wife, what do you need? What do you want? What are you feeling? I'm usually taking care of everyone else. And so this journal is a space to take care of me. And it's asking me and inviting me in the conversation of, what do you need? What do you want? How are you feeling? And for me, I can relate to that so much about just having that space there that can be ready whenever I'm available. Because even though I have people in my life who care about what I need, what I feel, what I'm thinking, they're not always available, right? They're not readily at the drop of a dime available. But guess what? My journal is. At any given time, I can reach over. This is something I keep with me in my purse or work bag, because at any time in the car, yes, I've done this in the car, clearly not while driving, I can pull over or I can sit in a parking lot or under a shaded tree and take a moment. Like this is always giving me the invitation. Even when I talk about journaling, I breathe better. I breathe differently. I breathe better and differently after journaling, while journaling, but it really is that partner that is always there partnering with me to make sure I'm tapping into me, to myself, to what's going on, to what's underneath the surface, to what I might not be even attuned to in the moment. It gives me this moment of stillness to figure out what's going on or to process, to release. And that for me is so important. And so my practice looks like there are 4 ways most of the time. I would say 98% of the time when I'm reaching for my journal is one of 4 times. It's in the morning, early during my quiet time. It's before bed, and I'm usually doing that in the bed. It's during the day when I'm feeling something that I just need to release or capture. And then at the beginning and end of every month, right? At the end of the month, saying goodbye to a month and those reflections. And then the next day, which is the first day of the month. And I talk about that in episode 117 while writing the months of the year. A hello and goodbye letter builds intention and self-awareness. You can listen to that. Just tap back to episode 117 where I talk about that there. But for me, all 4 of those ways are essential parts of they're part of my wellness habits and routine, right? I don't tend to journal every day, although there are periods of time when I definitely do. And there are actually some days where I use my Anytime Today journal multiple times in one single day. It's whenever I need it. It's usually not premeditated. Actually, it almost is never premeditated saying, I'm going to sit down at 7:00 and write this. It might be, I can feel that tomorrow I'm going to want to journal, but there's freedom and there's flexibility. It is just there when I need to reach for it. And it's not rigid saying, okay, you need to sit down every morning and write this thing. That's not how I utilize it at all. That's not what it was created for. If that's how it works for you, I want you to build that for yourself. But what I'm inviting most people into is freedom that they haven't found before with journaling. And that's what the Anytime Today journal was created to give you, right? So for me in the mornings, I want to gauge, how am I feeling and write it out? Or I can tell I'm feeling something, some kind of way I need to get out. Or I feel some kind of way, but I don't even know what it is. And I want to just explore. In the evenings, it's usually to process what's gone on in the day or something that's gone on, or I'm feeling like there's something just floating inside that's going to prohibit me from resting peacefully. So I release it in the journal. During the day, the Anytime Today journal is really helpful whenever I need to process or release. I keep saying that word, release something. Excitement, anger, bad news, great news, and many things in between. It is not just a place to be filled with tears and sadness, although if you need it to be that is what it's there for you. But for me, it captures all of the human emotional umbrella. And that's what I love so much about it. And I can noticeably see myself breathing easier after and during journaling. And right now I'm very congested. So breathing is already a challenge because only one side of my nose is taking in air. So if I sound like I'm winded, that's partly why breathing right now is a challenge. But I do find myself breathing, like even just writing and I close it. It's just that, right? And that feeling of just exhaling and letting go. At Best Today, we exist to help women just like you be your best one today at a time. So each week on the podcast, we are going to highlight your stories and your voices. So let's see what's in the inbox today. Today, we have a 5-star review of the Anytime Today journal from Emily. Emily writes, "The journal I didn't know I needed, ! Okay, so the main thing is that I've used this every day, all caps, sometimes multiple times a day since I received it, and I don't usually journal. I'm about to use it now after I post this." She has a picture for you to see if you'd like to go look at it. It has just woven itself into my days like a supportive little friend. The prompting, which seemed deceptively simple at first, is game-changing because it gets me thinking / self-connecting and makes it easier to jump in as opposed to just staring at an empty page. It makes journaling more accessible, which has been helping my mental health on tough days.
Thank you so much, Emily, for sharing how the Anytime Today Journal has been a supportive friend to you and really giving you a place to better self-connect. That's exactly why I created it, to help you right where you are, to help you all check in with yourself as often as you need. And here's the thing, we all need to check in with ourselves. So this isn't a question of, is the Anytime Today Journal for me? It is, and how do I get it in my hands? And that's by going to besttoday.co and to order your Anytime Today Journal. We will also link it to the show notes to today's episode. You can click there and order your Anytime Today Journal for your simple and effective way to check in with yourself at any time. Thank you again, Emily, for the 5-star review.
So how can you make the Anytime Today Journal a part of your wellness routine? Well, by identifying the times and spaces where it would be helpful for you. Like I told you my 4, right? 4 times I use it, usually morning, night, during the day, and to close out and to start a new month. Those are my most prominent times when I use it. But what if you made it a habit to check in with yourself at least 3 times a week? Or we can start small, once a week, right? Writing what you feel, what you need, what you want, how you are in the day, and just saying, I'm going to make it a practice, a part of my wellness routine to do that check-in. If it's easier for you, let's just say once a week. There's still no rigidity. Is that a word? Rigidity? Is that a word? Y'all go with me here. There's no need to be rigid, right? So we're not saying on Mondays, I'm going to always do that, unless that's what you like and that's helpful for you, right? That's the freedom and the flexibility. But just saying once a week, I'm going to use my Anytime Today Journal, and then building that up, right? There are times when I realize that I haven't used a particular prompt, and I challenge myself to do that. So the one that I realized I hadn't used much was Today I Want. And so I challenged myself to tap into that, right? That's why I love all 4 of these prompts so much. You want to see yourself thinking about all of them over some period of time. So one day I sat down and I said, I'm going to just circle Today I Want and see what happens. And my heart poured out. I think I ended up writing like 4 or 6 pages that day. And almost everything I wrote was like intangible things. So it wasn't like writing about wanting a shoe or a purse or things like that. Clearly I love shoes and purses. Let me be clear. But it was just so nice, like to just see what poured out when I just gave myself the invitation. And that's what the Anytime Today Journal does. It gives you the invitation. It asks, because sometimes you just need the knock on the door. I don't know if you could hear that. I knocked on my desk. And that's what it is. It's a knock on the door to say, hey, how are you? What do you need? What are you feeling right now? What you want? What's in there? What's in there? What do you want? Right? I needed to release that, and I didn't even realize it. So all 4 prompts are really important and powerful, and it can help you in your journey, in your life. So when you're using it, making sure you're finding that if you're avoiding a certain prompt, to intentionally make space to use that. That was the whole point of that. You know, just like we need water and movement, I believe journaling is right up there in importance. And so my challenge for you is for you to incorporate the Anytime Today Journal in your weekly. So we'll start saying once a week, I'm going to check in with myself, and I'm going to build it up after doing it once a week for 2 weeks. Then I'm going to go twice a week, and then maybe build that up to 3 times a week, and watch the difference that you notice in yourself, in your pace throughout the day, and in your level of awareness. You're going to notice a difference if you don't come back to me and we're going to talk about it, because that's how confident I am in this. Okay. I remember one customer shared that she found herself communicating better with her husband after using the Anytime Today Journal. She was standing in the kitchen and could tell that he was about to skip doing the dishes. And I think he headed to play some video games, and she just commented to him, I have a need for, and then she talked through the things that she had a need for in that moment and shared what she needed. And the beauty of taking time to reflect on what you need here in the Anytime Today Journal, it starts to make it a thing you notice and that you begin to vocalize and think about and you're aware of, and you do something about it in your day-to-day, in your life. Taking space to acknowledge, today I am. That can help you to begin to better identify what's going on within. Today I feel. You'll become more aware of what you're feeling instead of casting it off as nothing or giving it a generic title. I'm just tired. or I just feel overwhelmed, right? There could be something actually far more specific that you feel if you get in the habit of writing out what you feel, right? Today I need, being more aware of your needs and doing what you can to ensure that they are met. Today I want. How easy is it to forget about our desires and wants, especially if your life involves meeting the needs of other people daily? So the prompts really do invite you to remember, to discover, and to learn more about the things that are going on within. So I want you to incorporate the Anytime Today journal in your wellness routine. And you can do that by going to besttoday.co. Under shop, you'll see Anytime Today journal. If you're looking for accountability or for a space to share, I want to invite you to join the Best Today community. And there you're going to be surrounded by support and encouragement. You can go to besttodaycommunity.com. Your first 3 days are free. So just go in and say, hey, I'm just popping in. It's the free 3 days. I'm just started my Anytime Today journal. Would love some support, or I'm going to try to use it once a week. Anybody else, right there, how do you use it? Come in and get what you need, because I know that the Anytime Today journal can be a really important and very easy, right? Easy, not requiring overthinking part of your wellness routine. And so I want to invite you to do that by starting with checking in with yourself once a week using these 4 prompts inside the Anytime Today journal, which you can get right now. We have it linked here in the show notes. You can also just go to besttoday.co. Thank you, friends, for being present with me for this week's episode of the Best Today podcast. Everything that I do here on the podcast and within Best Today is to help you to live well. To learn more about how to get started, go to besttoday.co/quiz. And if you want to hear more from me and just hear my thoughts on different things, what I'm thinking through in real time, I invite you to read and subscribe to my online publication, For Those on the Journey. You can do that at forthoseonthejourney.com. We'll also link to that in the show notes as well. Thank you again for listening to this week's episode, and I'll talk to you on the next.
If you enjoyed this week's episode of the Best Today podcast, you are going to love the Best Today Guide. Our Better Than a Planner guide teaches you how to get clear on what you want, identify your self-destructive habits and behaviors, and intentionally create space to prioritize yourself every single day. Don't go the journey to being your best one today at a time without the Best Today Guide. See inside its pages and order yours today at besttodayguide.com. Even better, when you order the Best Today Guide, we gift you with your first month free inside of the Best Today membership. So what are you waiting for? We're giving you everything you need to trade busy for intention. Go to besttodayguide.com and order yours today and join thousands of women across the globe proclaiming each day, this is what my best today looks like.